Hi there. My name is Cheryl, and I'm a sister of St. Joseph of Baden, Pennsylvania. You may have seen, or you're going to get ready to see in short order, a video that was made by our leadership team in honor of the event called Faith, Field, and Feast. Well, we wanted to give you a little continuation of that video, a little less professional, and show you that what we're doing as a congregation, as individual sisters, are looking at healing the earth 1 yard at a time. And while our central home is our mother house in Baden and our property there, a place that we all have great affection for, a lot of us still are out on mission and living in convents and houses throughout Pennsylvania. So we decided to take you on a little road trip, and armed with just an iPhone and an old beater of a car, we went out to talk to some of the sisters about their gardens and what they're doing for the efforts of conservation. So come along with us on this journey. We're calling it Healing Planet Earth 1 yard at a time. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we think you'll have fun joining us on it. So here we go. Ready for Healing Earth 1 yard at a time.
So many trees, and our neighbor behind us, Marilyn, she also has a bird feeder, so we get a lot of good action here. With squirrels too, they have a way of getting down on the pole and pulling out the stuff from down below, but it works really well, and we get to watch them. Here's a tree. We had some tree experts come not long ago to help us with this. They estimated this tree is 300 years old at least. It's a beautiful tree. They came without even knowing that's what we call it, and they said, wow, this is an amazing tree. So the tree helps us get a little bit of exercise with this nice little swing. And we're putting in right now a larger circle of mulch. So that's what some of this is for. Always happy. We had the cutest thing happen. There's a little girl about 2 who lived, and we took some tomatoes over to her family, and not too long afterwards she and her dad were at the door, and she made this cutest little drawing to say thank you. And our neighbors next door to us, she's always making more cakes than she can eat, so she shares that with us, and we share tomatoes and zucchini with her. Becomes a good exchange.
How long have you had these rain barrels?
Oh, I'd say we've had them maybe about 4 or 5 years now. Fill them up in the springtime and keep them filled, and they water the garden.
So did you buy these rain barrels?
Went to a rain barrel class with a friend. And they told us where to go get the barrels from. We got all the parts for it. And so I had some other friends make this bench because they had to be higher to get the water out. So they work really well. They're almost completely filled right now because we've had a lot of good rain lately. So they're doing the trick.
Okay, so when I was a kid, we had a large garden at home. And my dad, we would help my father. I remember he would plant the tomatoes and I would follow him with a cup of water and water each plant. So I think it's in my genes. So I really liked to grow a garden. I guess it's been about 8 or 9 years we've had this garden. And Sister Paula built this chicken wire fence because we have deer who come into the garden from the park, so they're all over. I think we've had some bucks also. I guess to plant seeds and to see the fruit grow, it's very inspiring for me because I really like to see the growth. And then we share the fruits. I've taken lots of our vegetables over to Benedict the Moor, so they've shared in our fruits. And of course, our table's always filled with fruits and vegetables. So I'm just grateful to see the growth, to see how they grow, to be able to plant. I'm looking at the green peppers that are still coming. We've had stuffed peppers, we've had fried peppers, we've had the cucumber salads, the beans, the fresh beans. Of course, tomatoes are still coming. We had some spaghetti squash.
We've had a clothesline for as long as we've been here, which is 32 years. And it's moved. This is the third placement for it. But when we first had it, we always hung everything out on the line. And we had an older mailman, and he would always say to me, ask me about it. And so finally one day he said to me, ma'am, I'm going to have my church take up a collection so we can buy you a dryer. I said, oh no, we have a dryer. We just like to hang things out on the line. So.
It's always been important to me, even since I was a young child. I love just getting a sense of the earth and being with the earth, smelling the soil and planting seeds that produce fruit, produce vegetables, produce flowers. This year was a kind of a strange year with the pandemic, because we have a little greenhouse that we were kind of bored, and we thought we could bring the greenhouse inside. So we brought the greenhouse into our dining room and converted it into a little place where we could go and plant our seeds and take care of nurturing them until we had time to bring them out and plant them in the soil. So I hope that all of us can gain an appreciation of the earth and what it means to all of us as we live through this pandemic together.
This butterfly bush actually came from a sucker from the large butterfly bush, almost a tree, that we had when we lived on Melrose, in the 400 block of Melrose, many years ago, 15, 16 years ago. And there was this little sucker that anchored itself above the wall where this plant was. And that's all I brought. It wasn't any bigger than this. But it must like it here very much, because it needs to be cut down frequently in order to be at all tame.
And almost every day, except right now when you're here, there's at least one monarch flying around. They're beautiful. It's beautiful. We use our clothesline.
So apparently August is not the time to ask gardeners to send pictures of their plants. I was told that the only thing left was a scraggly tomato plant and a little bit of lettuce. But while you watch, listen to the list of what Sister planted. It sounds a bit like the 12 days of Christmas. Banana pepper plants, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, cucumbers, zucchini squash, banana peppers, tomatoes, red beets, yellow squash, spaghetti squash, and Brussels sprouts. And did I mention, count them? Yes, count them, 39 pints of tomatoes to be used and shared with her neighbors throughout the year. One proud farmer. When I asked for pictures from Our Lady of the Alleghenies, I was told westerly winds are upon us with rain soon to follow. Who but a gardener speaks like that? But here you can see their harvest was rich, again to share with their neighbors and parishioners and guests throughout the summer. From her mother's angel wing begonia plant that sits on her porch to the carrots and cucumbers in her garden, Sister understands that the earth cares for us as much as we care for it. She wasn't even sure this summer if she was going to be able to have a garden because of surgery earlier in the year. But after a neighbor tilled the soil, she was determined to try. and after hours spent planting all by herself, she stood in the garden and says that she began to cry, realizing she was healed, that she faced a summer of a rich harvest to share with her friends and neighbors. Hi. So we're back to where we started before our journey for healing planet Earth, 1 yard at a time. This time, somewhere along the way, the old beater car that I was in died. And no, I haven't adopted the bike as a permanent means of transportation, but I have found myself taking a few more bike rides and enjoying the out of doors and seeing what nature has to bless us with. I wish that you all could have come with me to see the passion and the energy that these sisters had with their gardens, and even more importantly, with the people that were involved with them in the gardens, with the exchange that they were doing with food and messages, and one giving a newspaper and the other giving squash, and just a healing episode that seemed to happen with each person. And it wasn't just the one sister doing the garden, it was the whole house and the whole neighborhood that they lived in. That was an amazing experience. I think it told me, importantly, that while we are not of the earth in the sense that we're not dirt and grass, and somehow we need it. And importantly now, it needs us. It doesn't take a papal encyclical to realize that this planet Earth that we have is all we're going to have. And if we don't take care of it, and in doing so, get in relationships with each other, we're going to be in some serious trouble. So I hope that you're not just satisfied to see some nice videos and lovely gardens and nice pictures of plants, but that you'll get out yourself to just touch the grass, or maybe go over and put your hand on a tree and imagine how long that tree has been there. Or the next time that you eat some vegetables, remember where they came from and who was responsible for getting them to your table and on your plate. Healing planet Earth, 1 yard at a time, with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Baden, Pennsylvania. Like I said, we've had a really good time. And if you like it, let us know, and maybe we'll take another journey with you. Goodbye.